Okay, so this is part 2 to the solving equations video. We're going to take all of that solving equation knowledge we know and bring it over into word problems. So we're going to solve some equation word problems. Let's go ahead and get started. The problem says the sum of a number and twice that number is 15. What is the number? When you're faced with a word problem, the best thing to do is look for what is important. If you can underline it, underline it. If you can highlight it, highlight it. If not, jot it down on paper. But you look for what's important. Key words, key phrases, so that you know what to do. So one key thing that we find in this is the word sum. And we all know that when we see the word sum, that means we are adding. So I'm going to go ahead and write an addition sign because I know that I am adding something. Now let's go back. Sum of a number. Again, that is important because what does a number represent? Exactly, the unknown. I don't know what a number is, so I'm going to make that x. So that's the first term. Plus twice that number. We know the word twice means times 2. That number would mean the unknown number that we have. So that gives us 2x. And then is 15 means that that is equal to 15. So now we've set up the equation from that particular word problem. And we should be able to solve it because we've already talked about being able to solve equations. So line down the middle. I happen to see that I have like terms on the same side. So x plus 2x would give me 3x equals 15. And then, of course, divide by 3. And my answer ends up being 5. So we got that. 5 would be our number. Let's try another word problem. Here we go. It says the sum of 7 and twice a certain number is 10 more than the number. Again, look for key words, key phrases. First key thing that I see is the word sum again. So again, I know if I see the word sum, that means addition. So I'm going to go ahead and write my addition sign. So I got that in there. And it says of 7. The sum of 7, so of course that means my first term here would have to be 7. The sum of 7 and twice a certain number. So twice a certain number, twice means times 2 a certain number. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to write that as 2x. So far I have 7 plus 2x. I got that. And then it says is means equal, 10 more than. So just that part, 10 more than. That would mean 10 plus 10 more than. And then the last part of it says the number. And we already know we don't know what the number means, so the number must be x. So the equation is 7 plus 2x equals 10 plus x. Split it down the middle. I can solve this. Got variables on both sides, so I know I want to move this x over to the other side. So I would subtract x from both sides. The x's cancel. I have 7 plus x equals 10. Subtract 7 from both sides. They cancel, so x must equal 3. And of course, that would be my final answer. So those were just kind of some basic, little wacky type of equations. So now we want to get into more of a word problem type equation because that's really what we're going to see on the test, and those are really the ones we need to focus on. So here's our word problem. It says, Armando works part-time at a pet store. This week he earns 18 less than 4 times the amount he earned last week. His total earnings for the 2 weeks were $262. Same thing. I want to look for what is important in this problem. So to me, the first thing that I find that is important is when they bring in the concept that this week he is going to earn $18 less than 4 times the amount he earned last week. That statement to me is very important. So that's telling me that I have a this week and I also have a last week. So when I start to set up this equation, one of the first things I'm going to write is this week versus what happened last week. Because it's telling me that there were at least 2 weeks going on in this equation, and that's how they set them up. So let's deal with just the this week's part. This week he earned 18 less than 4 times. So when I think about that statement, 18 less means I gotta be subtracting 18. 4 times what he did last week tells me I'm multiplying by 4 whatever amount of money he earned last week. And since I don't know what that is, I'm going to put X. So that lets me know that last week is represented by X because I never knew what he made last week. So now so far, I know this week is represented by 4X minus 18 and last week is represented by X. Makes sense to me. Then it goes on to say his total earnings for the 2 weeks. Total usually means that I am adding something, and the total has to be the 2 weeks that I talked about, and it's going to total out to $262. So, okay, that's telling me whatever he did this week, which was 4X minus 18, plus what he did last week, because remember I'm talking total, so I have to add, which is X, is going to give me a total of 262. That's what I got out of just setting up the problem, breaking down the problem. Haven't done any math yet, really. I just wanted to set up the problem. Now I can do the math. That's no problem because we've already gone through all the processes of solving equations. Line down the equal sign. I know that I have a like term with the 4X along with plus X. So 4X plus X would give me 5X minus 18 equals 262. I know the steps from here. I can run through this problem with no problem. Minus 18 means I have to do plus 18 on both sides. This, of course, cancels. So 5X equals 280. I know you're like, why did she pause? I had to do that in my head, you guys. So I had to make sure I got it right. Divide by 5. So X would give me 56 weeks. Okay, so again, what did X stand for? X stood for what happened last week. So far I know last week he made $56. So let me go back to my question and make sure that that's what my question was asking. If I go back, the question says, how much did he earn this week? Well, hold on. I haven't answered my question yet because I got an answer for what he made last week. But I want to know how much money he made this week. So this is only representing last week, and that's not what the question asked me. It asked me about this week. So to find out how much he made last week, I simply take the total amount, which was 262, subtract the amount he made last week, which was 56, and I end up with him making $206 this week. So this is my answer. Okay, so be careful, you guys, when you are doing your work, because I did all of the math and got 56, but that was not the answer to the problem. The answer to the problem was 206. So you have to be very careful that you are always answering the question that is presented before you. Let's do one more. So this time we have a question that says a shoe store sold 340 pairs of shoes in one day. The number of pairs of athletic shoes sold was four more than twice the number of pairs of dress shoes sold. How many pairs of athletic shoes were sold? Again, let's focus on what is important in the problem. And you should start to be able to find something. If you're never finding anything important in the problem, then I am a little concerned, because if it's nothing but a total or a plus sign, you should be identifying something. So, okay, I see that this shoe store sold 340 pairs of shoes. So to me, that's important because I already know what 340 is going to represent. That's a total for me. So I know that. Then it goes on to say the number of pairs of athletic shoes was 4 more than twice the number of dress shoes. So wait a minute. That to me lets me know I have 2 different types of shoes going on in this problem. So when I get ready to start writing down information, I need to make sure that I am writing down what is going to represent athletic shoes and what is going to represent dress shoes. So that's going to be important for me. So when I go back in, okay, let's look at it again. Athletic shoes was 4 more than twice. So 4 more than usually means I add. Twice means I multiply by 2. And what is it? Twice dress shoes? Well, they never said anything about what kind of dress shoes. So dress shoes would be X by themselves. So I know dress shoes is X because they never gave me a description of it. Athletic shoes are 4 plus 2X. I know I have a total of 340. So to me, this is saying 4 plus 2X plus X equals 340. That's what it's telling me. Again, splitting it down to equal sign, time to do the math. And again, this part should be the easy part for you. Like terms go together. So this is going to be 4 plus 3X. And I know I got 3 from 2 plus the understood 1 right there equals 340. Still not done. I would subtract 4 from both sides. This cancels, so 3X equals 336. Still not done because I need to divide by 3. This cancels, so X has to equal 112. Well, what is X equal again? X is dress shoes. So my dress shoes is 112. Well, I want to go back and make sure that's what they were asking me to do. So let me go back to my problem. Question in my problem says, how many pairs of athletic shoes were sold? Well, wait a minute. I did the math, but the math has only given me dress shoes. So that's not the answer to my equation. To my problem, excuse me. My problem wants to know about athletic shoes. Well, instead of plugging it in and going through that, I know there are only 2 types of shoes. So I'm just going to take the total that was sold that day for 340, subtract 112 from that, and I'm going to end up with 228 pairs of shoes. I know you guys are cracking up because I paused so long. And that is going to represent my athletic shoes, which is what they wanted me to find out. So this would be the answer to my problem. And my answer again is 228. Sorry, that 2 looks so ugly. Okay. All right. That is a few word problems. We'll do more in class. Look up some online. Maybe there's a better explanation for some of you, but I really think that'll help. As you go through your word problems, again, look for key pieces of information that let you know what is going on in the problem, regardless of if it's a real world problem or if it's a basic everyday problem. There's still something in there that you should get out. Okay, until next time. Bye.